Coach, I know you heard me talking to your players a little bit ago, and I think you caught the attention of Centerville in your first game, and they were very impressed the way you came out and played some really hard-nosed physical football.
Well, I mean, it's always nice to hear somebody say that, and it makes you think you're doing things the right way. Obviously we want to get those W's though, and I'm not real big on moral victories. It's nice when people notice that there's an improvement or there's a difference in your football team, that you're a better team than you have been in the past or whatever. So I think we're working the right direction. But I still want to get the W. I mean, that's what's going to keep kids coming back.
From an execution standpoint, go to the offense, talk about what you like.
I thought we ran the ball effectively. I mean, we were close to 220 yards rushing. I had both my running backs were close to 100. I think Alex had 88 and Jeremiah had 98. And the carries were pretty evenly distributed. So I thought we did some good things in the running game. Passing game we're still working on. We still got, we got a young quarterback and Coy is a receiver who's back from last year, but we got all new receivers this year too. So we're still struggling a little bit on timing issues and some of that stuff. So, I mean, that'll come around eventually. I want to throw more than 7 passes a game. But you gotta complete some of those 7 before you throw 8 and 9 and 10. And our running game was fairly effective. We just, we got into a situation where we moved the ball pretty well, but then we would, we'd have one little thing happen, or we'd have a delay a game penalty or something. We didn't have any holding penalties in the game, which was good. A couple of offsides or false start, but overall, I thought we were fairly efficient offensively. We just didn't finish a couple drives.
And tell you what, it only takes 1 or 2 of those that kind of stalls things, and all of a sudden the offense doesn't click as much.
No, you're right. I mean, offense can be very much a rhythm thing. If you get a good rhythm, whether it's running or passing or a combination, whatever's working for you at that time, if you can get a good combination, you can put points on the board. So we scored a couple times last week. It'd be, they were kind of, second quarter and fourth quarter, but, it'd be nice to score some more in between there.
How did you think your offensive line played overall?
Overall, pretty good. I thought protection-wise, when we did throw, Jacob did scramble a couple of times, but that's okay. That's going to happen sometimes in a game. But I thought overall our pass protection was good. And truthfully, I've got only 2 starters back. I had 3 new kids on the line of scrimmage. One of them was a freshman, and I thought we did a pretty good job with our blocking schemes and getting to the people we were supposed to. So, overall good, but you always want to get better.
Defensively, overall, did you like what you saw?
Yeah, absolutely. I was really I want to say really impressed, but if I say that, I don't want kids to think, oh, he was impressed with us. But they played very well. They played very physical. I know we've mentioned that a couple times, but I think our physical presence on the field is good. We made a couple mental mistakes. They hit they got a play on us right before the half, which put them up 14-6, and then they hit a couple big runs late in the second half when we were a little more gassed and had some issues. But overall, I thought our defensive play was very good.
Is this a week then, too, that you're still trying to establish some depth and that way give you guys a little bit of a break if needed, or is that something you're even looking at right now?
Well, yeah. We're always looking to see who's going to step up and who can play and who might be able to give us, something somewhere, even if it's just say, okay, I need you to be ready to play some in the fourth quarter or in the third quarter. And, really right now, and, we've told the kids this too, right now we have a varsity and a almost freshman team. We have some sophomores that haven't played a lot of football either, but, we just got a real big separation between what a varsity player is and what a JV player is right now. So some of those JV kids, if they want a chance to play, have got to pick it up and got to step up and put themselves in a position where we have to play them. And that's what we tell them. We challenge them every week. You say you want to get on the field. Well, what are you going to do to get there? What are you going to do in practice to make our varsity kids better? If you can make us better during the week, then you've got a chance to play on Friday night. If you're not making us better during the week, then you still got work to do. So it's it's kind of a catch-22. You want to get as many kids involved as you can, but we're also want to try to make sure we can play a JV season.
Coach, you heard me probably talking to the players a little bit about the routine this week. It is different, but you want to keep things as normal as possible. How do you do that?
Well, just like tonight, I mean, we don't play till Saturday morning, but we're still keeping our practice time the same. I usually practice a little bit later on Thursday nights and give them a little bit of break after school. I'm doing the same thing now. Like you said, though, it does change because tomorrow we're not going to be playing. They'll be in school. We're just going to do a quick walkthrough tomorrow after school. Maybe keep them an hour, and that's about it. And then, told them to go home and rest. But, that's, hopefully they do, because we do have that first game, and we're leaving school at 7:30. So, hopefully by the time we get up there, they'll be woken up enough that that they'll be ready to get out and get some warm up stuff in. And we're really not going to have a lot of extra time leaving at 7:30. I want to keep my pregame routine the same. So I want specialists on the field an hour and a half before the game, getting some throws in and kicking a little bit and some of that. So as far as Saturday in the game, we're going to try to keep our pregame stuff as normal as possible.
You play a team that can be very dangerous. Guys that, they can throw the football. Some guys can run the football. As we mentioned, too, maybe made it not as much depth as they would like. They're kind of suffering from a number standpoint. What do you expect? What kind of game you're going to look at on Saturday?
Well, I'm watching them on film. They've got some good athletes. They got some kids that can run well, like you said. That I was a little bit. I don't want to say surprised, but I was, I guess, a little bit surprised how many times they did throw the ball. Of course, they were behind a little bit too, and they were trying to get some points on the board or whatever. But I thought they're. The quarterback, who I know wasn't a quarterback last year, he is a good runner. He's elusive. He's hard to bring down. He's a tough kid. We watch him on film and we say, you've got to tackle him. You can't just reach for him and grab at him because he'll get away. And really he's got a pretty good arm for being a kid who wasn't really a quarterback. So, and they got a couple decent sized receivers. So they like to go deep down the field with their receivers. They'll take shots down the field. And then their running back, and maybe I should know, but I know he's number 27. I don't really care about names. I care about numbers. So don't change your number. But he runs the ball hard, and I think lineman wise they move and they get off the ball some, and they're kind of that same way on defense. They're real aggressive up front, and they're skill kids at linebacker that are some of their running back and safety kids and things like that are they play hard and they get after you.
My final thing is, when you think about, we talked about the importance of game one coming out in the Tri-Eastern Conference. Now it's game number 2 back into the Tri-Eastern Conference. This is going to be kind of a recurring theme all the way down through, as you said, 7 or 8. You guys feel a little bit more now. Listen, it's not a must-win situation, but it really kind of feels like, boy, you don't want to go 0-2 in the TEC.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We'd love to be 1-1 in the conference after the first 2 weeks. We thought as coaches, we thought we could play with Centerville and maybe have a shot, and we did have a shot for part of the game, and then we just kind of wore out at the end. But with Union County, I'm sure they think they've got a good shot to win. We think we've got a good shot to win. So it's going to come down to, who can be the most physical, who can, have the most stamina. Because I think you're right. It's a numbers issue right now for both of us. And, I think both teams are pretty skilled at certain things. We just don't have enough skilled kids. So, it's going to come down to, a battle of wills as much as anything.
Hey, by the way, playing on the turf makes it a little bit faster. Does that give it an advantage to either one of these two teams? Can you tell?
I don't know. I watched us on film. I don't know if we're any too fast, but we got a couple kids that run well, and if they're going to be a little bit faster on turf, but they got some kids that are pretty decent athletes too. So I think any advantage that anybody gains gets nullified. And, I think it's just going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight.